But
Yeah.
Bob, is it Bob?
Yes.
Bob,
Yeah, thanks. This is my first time here too, and thanks.
welcome, Bob.
I've enjoyed reading the learning myths on LinkedIn, and I've been doing this more than 30 years to age myself.
Let's have some oldsters.
But I was fortunate enough to go through a master's program in my early 20s where I learned about, in instructional design and learning technologies in my early 20s. So I didn't develop these through bad ideas through experience like some have. And I'll share, and you mentioned things that make sense. Let me share a story. I was in aviation training for a while. Somebody shared this with me. Very experienced, very successful flight instructor said that, and again, based on his experience, he said, I know that positive reinforcement does not work, but negative reinforcement does work. And he says, there's absolutely no question about it. From my own experience, I know it's true. When one of my students does really well and I give them positive reinforcement, they always do worse next time. When one of my students does really poorly and I give them negative reinforcement, they always do better next time. So there was no doubt in my mind that negative reinforcement works and positive doesn't. The fact is, he was simply observing a statistical reality called regression toward the mean. It had nothing to do with what he said. It was just a reality that will happen every time. If you do your best, next time you'll do worse. If you do your worst, next time you'll do best. But his experience absolutely convinced him without a doubt that he was right. And that's the problem with having SMEs or content experts become pseudo learning experts. Their experience misinforms them so many times, but they're absolutely convinced that they're correct. And learning styles is one of those. There are others.
Sure.
I spoke out against learning styles 25 years ago and nobody else wanted to hear it. And now I'm vindicated because people have come to this. There's so many other myths out there that still have to be
Right.
tackled.
Lots of windmills out there.
Yeah. So I think one of the big problems is that, some of the work, and we can all probably agree with this, some of the worst training I've ever seen is from content experts, but also content experts have sometimes been very good. It's simply that they're two different skills. Sometimes a person has both and sometimes they don't. So it's a crapshoot if you're saying, well, a content expert should be the instructor because they're the content expert. Same with SMEs, though. I was on a recent project and an SME said, well, I know you're the learning expert, but this is what I want to do. So we're going to do it my way, and they're paying the bill. So what do well, okay, I gave you my advice and you don't want to take it. Okay. So I think that's true. Another one that's a hot topic is ADDIE. I've published articles 25 years ago on how ADDIE was an outmoded methodology, and yet we still see it all the time. And that one hasn't come. I haven't been vindicated yet on that one, but I'll leave it at that. So just thanks for hosting this. It's kind of fun to hear everybody's ideas.
Well, thank you for that. And you bring up some really good points, about how subject matter experts come from a position of experience.
Yes.
Good experiences, bad experiences, in between experiences, but that's the baggage that they're going to bring with them. And the hard part is, breaking them away from that baggage, right?
Yes.
And having the conversations over and over and over again can be frustrating, and it's just, how can we take that different tact? Even with my own clients, I'll have a client that says, well, can you be sure that you're, meeting everybody's learning styles? Like, no, I cannot. No, I cannot do that. But I don't take them to task for believing in that. I just say, well, what you're asking for is not a possibility. This is why.